So today the rain isn't supposed to start for a while. Welcome back, Jace Mowing, another video by the way. I'm still gonna head out and try to at least put out the rest of these yard signs in my front seat, even if it starts raining. But I wanted to show you, I follow Florida Turf Pros, John over there, and I did get his flyers. These are very flimsy. I think I ordered the wrong paper, but I'm gonna try it out and see what we can do with that. I probably should have got them as postcards because these are like really paper thin. Next thing I got is door hangers with a QR code in the corner and my information under a yellow line. Basically it's showing a picture of my family on the back, and that way people know that they're dealing with family and not just some like scam, because you know people are the way they are these days. But we're gonna go ahead and hit the road. I'm not gonna record. I don't think I have much to talk about, man. Some of you guys commented on my last video about like, one guy was like, well, David Goggins is about mindset. And my whole point that I gave, which he probably went to the comment section and quit watching the rest of the video. The whole point was that if someone like David Goggins toward when they're, you know, toward the later end of their life, 50 and beyond, you know, it's not really the latest part of your life, but like, if he would have got to like 45 to 47 year old and been like, dang, you know, I'm a fat loser, I need to get in shape, I need to change my life, it would be a lot harder to do that then and do what he does then than like now at my age at 29. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the whole point I made. That's why it's important to start now. It's a slow death of 1,000 cuts, and by the time you're so unhealthy, you might get cancer, you might get some type of disease toward the later part of your life because you didn't eat well and you didn't take care of your body at the early stages of your life. You know, 20 to 40 is my point I was making. I'm not like, it's like, well, David Goggins is all about mentality. You know, nothing against that guy. That's pretty much one of the only comments. The other one was, there was a comment, another guy that's, you know, his name's Ed, he watches the channel. Nothing against you, Ed, nothing against you. Basically said, you know, I've been in business, it's the same old thing. I've been in business since 1998. I've never had to worry about Google. Well, here's the thing. I was 2 years old at 1998. In today's world, my wife is 6 months younger than me. She's almost 30. Guess what she uses to find places to eat, places to go when we're on vacation? It's not Google, it's not YouTube, it's not word of mouth. She uses TikTok for everything. Isn't that crazy? She uses it to find recipes, she uses it to find like outfits, the latest makeup that everybody's using. People that started in the 90s, the 80s, the 2000s even, anything past 2010 and below, in any business, most of the time. And this will happen to me and you if you're just starting a lawn care business. Say we've owned a lawn, even if you get out of the day-to-day operations, unless you are actively starting new locations over and over and over, somebody like Mike Andy, somebody like Military Lawn Cuts guy, Will Kelly. If you're actively starting new locations, then you're constantly resetting to the new challenges of a new business. Now, if you're somebody that's been in the lawn care industry and has had a lawn care business since 1998, for example, or 2005, or 1988, or 1985, or 1970, name your amount of time in the business. I call it like it's like a phenomenon where people watch like people like me that are just starting, and they tell them, oh, you don't need this. I've been doing it since 98, for example. Nothing against the guy. It's all word of mouth, this, that, the other. And they've had that equity building since 1998 with their business, and everybody in town knows that business's name. If you're just starting today in 2025, where we have AI that is PhD level intelligence. We have self-driving vehicles. We have all this mass amount of technology. People are more and more getting consumed by their phone. Their phone has become an extension, almost like an extra hand to them, or an extra brain almost, and their brain is going down as it happens. But we'll talk about that a different time if we ever get to that. These guys seem to think that if they started today, just like they did in 1998, for example, that they will be able to start the exact same way. And you can. There's nothing wrong with starting with word of mouth. It's just going to take you 5 years to get where I'm going to be next year. You see what I'm saying? By utilizing today's technology, today's methods of getting business, not just for lawn care, but other industries. And there's some things, you know, like some older things were like that people did in the 2000s and the 2010s and stuff, posting on Craigslist every week, you know, paying. Now you got to pay for it. It's like $3 a post or whatever. Paying on Craigslist to post your service, you know, that was a big thing. And now the big thing is, you know, door hangers. That was probably a big thing back then too. Door hangers, flyers, that's always been big and old. Radio. And all this stuff kind of comes back because it gets, I won't say saturated, but less people do it. And if you do it, and the people that still listen to radio, they can hear your ad. But we'll talk about unconventional modern day methods of advertising later. It's like, guys, you know, I know that if you watch my channel and you've been doing this since I was 2 years old, and you've been doing this since the 90s, I get it. You know, you've got the experience. Nice. But be very careful when you give blanket advice like that, of like, you don't have to worry about Google. You don't have to worry about all these new things that, yes, we do have to worry about. Because, and don't take this the wrong way, you're going to die off eventually, okay? Just don't, I mean, it's part of life. It's how life goes. And I'm going to get to your age, and all the people my age are still going to be using Google. They're still going to, they're you know, it's going to grow with them, and that's going to be the new old way of doing things. You know, there'll be something 40 years in the future or whenever that's going to be like, you're going to be wearing glasses, and there's going to be like a screen when you can pop on and off when you know you're not driving, or you can talk to something, be like Iron Man, Jarvis, order me some milk, we need milk, and you'll be driving, and when you get home it's delivered by a drone shipment. You know, I don't know, just name whatever. Jarvis, find me the top 3 rated Google lawn care companies within a 10-mile radius of my home. Yes, sir. You know, who knows? I'm just letting you know that when you give this blanket, old, outdated advice that still works, it just isn't going to be the only method that's going to work 30, 40 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, it still works. It just takes longer. Word of mouth, you know, whatever. But saying don't worry about your Google, especially for somebody like me, that I might sell this company. It needs to have the projected value so I can sell it at 3 to 4 times its revenue, or profit rather. You can't really you can at the same time not give new companies advice, because if you're giving them outdated advice, yes, you're getting older, it's outdated advice. That's why it's so valuable to see somebody that started a company within the last 5, maybe push 10 years, right, that has constantly been making new locations, and they're constantly growing because they deal with the day-to-day new modern age problems. People that are my age, going on 30, they use Google to find their lawn care companies. Even, you know, my wife uses TikTok. Local lawn care company near me on TikTok. Are you on there? Yeah, you might not want her business. You might have all the work you can handle. When people go, I make a great living, I have all the work I can deal with. Heck, I'm turning away work. It's like, congratulations, man. Congratulations. It's all the work that you can handle at your own solo personal capacity. What you're supposed to do when you get where you're at, instead of turning down work, is you're supposed to drop the bottom 10% of your business. That way you can pick up higher priced clients of the leads you're turning away. And if you're at capacity, that's when you hire another body, somebody else, another body, another truck, another rig that will increase your capacity so you can take on those clients and you can grow the revenue and the profits, and the company as a whole goes up. Every time you hire somebody, your capacity, not just your own personal capacity if you're on the truck, but your business's capacity should be able to increase. Capacity means your capacity to take on more customers, i.e. more revenue, i.e. more business value, i.e. business owner, i.e. not just self-employed with giving yourself another job, not working for somebody else. And you know, that's fine. Nothing against you if you do that. I'm just saying the goals are different, the times are different. When you get snarky in the comments, I'm really trying not to let it take over, because, you know, respect to you if you've been in business since 1998. Congratulations, awesome, that's great. You're turning away work, awesome. But I've been in business, you know, it's hard to not let that voice take over and the boomer, do the boomer voice. I call it the boomer voice. Oh man, and then today's time it's the Zoomer voice, like, I'm sick, I don't want to go, I don't want to work. That's the Zoomer voice. The boomer voice is, I've been in business for 40 years. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, that's the boomer voice. I'm just saying, you know, don't take it the wrong way. When you give blanket advice, and your reasoning to be able to give said blanket outdated advice to everybody is because you're turning away work, that's not a flex. Matter of fact, that is, I would consider that failing. Because one day your body's going to break down and you're not going to be able to do it no more. You know, yeah, you may have $5 million that you put in over the years into the stock market, into a mutual fund, or into something that's, you know, you're set for retirement. But let's say you don't, and you rely on your income, and your family relies on your income. Maybe you have everything paid off, but still you're going to have to pay property taxes until the day you die. Let's say you lose your mind, like my grandfather right now has dementia, very mild. He's starting to not remember. He himself, you know, he is 80, oh gosh, he's 91 now. Has to be in a nursing home because my mama can't take care of him anymore. And he thinks he is 40 again. Now, you may think that that's not going to happen to you, and it might not. I'm just saying, let's say you get taken out of the business, and you, and your family, nobody else works. Your wife doesn't work. All your kids are moved out. You're getting older. What are you going to do? Let's say you start forgetting. Let's say you start thinking that you're 50 or 40 again, and you're going on 95 years old. You know, what are you going to do? You know, if you get put in a nursing home, they take all your stuff. If the other person, you know, if your spouse is not alive, it all goes to the nursing home. What are you going to do? You know, that's my question to you is, yeah, you can do it yourself, but what are you going to do if you can't in the future? So be very careful when you give this blanket outdated advice, and your reasoning for being able to give that is you're having to turn down work. That's a very poor thought process when you comment snarky comments on people's videos that are actually in the weeds. They're in the dirt of starting a new business and seeing what's happening. They've done it before in the last 5 years with another business. Just be very careful with that. All right, I'm gonna go put out door hangers. I'm not recording it. I'm literally banging these out as quickly as possible. I'm gonna try to get 100 before it starts raining. I can see the cloud coverage. It's getting ready to start, I would say, within the next 2 hours. So within an hour I can do 100-yard signs. I did wear my running shoes. I look like a dad, you know. I look like a dad in jeans, a blue shirt, and running shoes. I should have worn my polo probably, but that's okay. I'm just here to bang it out, hang door hangers, and roll on. So I'll catch you guys after I do that, and if anything happens, I'll let you know. But yeah, we're just going to be rocking it and getting out as much as humanly possible. We did about, I would say, 100 homes or so in that one big brand new subdivision. A lot of guys were out mowing their own yards with a little, you know, electric push mowers. I ran into a couple that were outside putting together a brand new little, you know, $100, $125 push mower. And, you know, I offered them door hanger, and it was like, no thanks, like immediately. And I was like, okay, whoa. All right. You know, and I was just like, good luck with that, because their home was on, you know, like a hill, like not a real bad hill, like I could do it no problem with the stand on. But I was just sitting there thinking, that little, you know, $100 push mower, good luck, buddy. They were all excited. And then when I got done on their street, I had to get the truck and go around the little loop, so I passed them again. And they were like taking a picture with it, like for social media, like, you know, I guess it's their first time buying a home, probably. They're on the younger side, probably younger than me. And I was like, good luck, buddy. You'll be wishing you grabbed this door hanger for later. But knocked that out. It's all good. Everything, putting in some sweat and equity into trying to get more clients. I do have a quote to do on mulch and mulching. So since I pretty much have one day free and clear almost always as of right now, I may try to start scheduling mulching jobs that day only and just put the mulch in the back of the truck for now. It's got a bed liner, all that stuff in it, should be fine. But I was thinking about that. I also have plywood down in the trailer, so I won't be putting it in mesh. I could just throw, you know, a tarp down in there and do that as well. We'll see what I decide to do. I could also go with the bag mulch and do that. But all right, I mean, this video is going to be pretty short, simple, sweet. Didn't time lapse the door hanging. Put a bunch out, at least 100 homes there. And they're all over my passenger seat. Holy crap, they fell everywhere. But I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna edit this video, and we are going to chill out. And I may this evening, I may make a Facebook ad. I've been debating it. Don't know if I really want to do it. It'll be like a video with a voiceover over it. It'll be, you know, time lapse of mowing and stuff. I may do it. I don't know. We'll see. So far, Facebook ads in the past year for anything I've done have been not the greatest, and I've paid professionals to set them up and do it. I've taken courses myself on Facebook ads. It's just not that as good as something like putting your money into Google ads, in my opinion. It could be different. I am going to do this. I'm going to make a video sales letter style website page for my website, and that's going to be a landing page for my Google ads or any other ads that I do end up running. They're going to go to that. It's going to be a video of me talking and you know, explaining our services and what we do and why we do what we do. And then below that, it'll have the form that they need to fill out with their information, and that typically works pretty good in sales. It's called a video sales letter funnel page, and that'll funnel their information into my CRM. And then, yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoy the content I put out. If you have anything that you want me to talk about or that you would like to see if I've done it or not, just leave it in the comments. Appreciate everybody watching. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will freaking see you later.